Hello and welcome to Captain's Dry Dock, and in the dry dock today I'll be showing you how I like to strip. Oh no, this is safe for work and safe for children. It's not that type of channel. I want to show you how I like to strip models. Phew! Anyway, let's make it real. I found this Lehman Russ on eBay and won this bid for only 10 quid, which is a bargain considering how expensive they usually are. But I guess the paint job, sand and moss stuck all over it must have put off a lot of buyers. However, taking a closer look, it wasn't apparent in the eBay photos, but there were a few parts missing on the sponson housing. So what was planned as a stripping tutorial has now developed into an additional restoration project, but I'll go into that later. To soak the model in a bath of fluid, I found that washing liquid tab containers are great for this purpose, as they're a perfect size and have a sealable child-proof hinge lid, and this is great for storage. Now, this video isn't the be-all or end-all of how to strip a model. Now, there are many other ways of stripping paint specifically from plastic, and I know people that use chemicals such as cleaning fluid, Dettol, to strip their models, or even going to a model making shop, if they still exist anymore by the time you see this video, and actually buying a purpose-made stripper for plastic. However, the downside of that is that as soon as you use it, you have to buy some more, and that's one of the reasons why I love using car brake fluid. Essentially, you can use it again and again, so long you filter out all the crud and crap after you've actually stripped the previous model. You can just pop it back into the bottle and use it for the next strip job you got later on down the line. However, whatever you do, and I shouldn't have to say this, don't put it back in your car. First, I pour the entire fluid contents into the container. This is a standard .4 brake fluid from Amazon, and none of this will be wasted as it can be used again and again. Then it's to take the model apart as much as possible so the fluid can go to all the tiny nooks and crannies. Then it's just dunking it all into the bath, making sure I use gloves. Although this stuff isn't corrosive to skin, it's never a good idea to expose skin to any chemicals anyway. Leaving it overnight to soak will give the fluid ample time to eat into however many layers of paint there might be. We can already see where it started to peel. Using a good old toothbrush, the paint comes off with hardly any effort from me and not doing any damage to the plastic. Just remember, if the model or object is hollow, you really have to make sure to pour out any of the fluid that's left inside, or it will haunt you when you finish painting your model and it might all leak out. As mentioned, the great thing about brake fluid is that it can be used over and over again for stripping. But before pouring it all back into the bottle for later, it's good to use a filter to extract any paint residue left behind by the model. As the surface of the model has a fine coat of fluid, it's time to give it a bath. Using water with washing up liquid, the model is thoroughly washed, as if it's not cleaned, any paint applied will just peel off later. After a rinse and left to dry, we can see how the plastic is in perfect order and ready for painting. But before that, I need to add those missing parts I've mentioned earlier. Now, there's plenty of buy, sell, swap websites out there, as well as people that buy the entire model and sell the bits separately for an overinflated price. But as the parts really aren't that complex, it was worth making myself. I could just remake these simple parts on plastic card, but I chose to use 3D CAD software. It was really easy to make these parts with just a few simple tools and to add all the subtle details like rivets. To get them the right size, I used a vernier to get the exact measurements from another Lehman Russ tank I already had. So in theory, these should fit perfectly for this tank. Then it was the case of 3D printing them. I used a resin 3D printer, which is ideal for this scale and detail. Also, I didn't have to deal with any of the print layers that a filament printer would have left behind. These turned out great, and it felt good that I didn't have to buy any replacement parts for silly money. After hitting it with a few coats of grey primer, it's ready for a second life to be repainted and to serve the Emperor. Now, I did mention that sometimes I use another method for stripping. This is for models that are too large to soak or have so many layers of oil or solvent-based paint. This is what I call the nuclear option, as it's aggressive but works fast and against most paint and thicknesses. Acetone, or as we mainly know it as nail polish remover, is the Mr. T of getting it done. However, it's highly toxic and stinks, hence I do it outdoors. So if you are going to use it, wear gloves and a suitable vapor mask, not dust mask, which won't protect your precious lungs from those chemical fumes. This example had 5 layers of automotive paint and acrylics, and just wiping it with a soaked kitchen towel, you can see it gets the job done. More so if I just left it for a minute or so.